Hi, I'm Parker.
And I'm Tim.
And this is a Rage Podcast, where today we're going to talk about the Metaverse.
And by talk about, we mean utterly destroy.
Yeah, utterly destroy.
Yeah.
So what's important, let's lay out kind of what is the Metaverse, because it's certainly something
Yeah, because before we tell you it's a
understand.
terrible idea, we at least should let you understand
Yeah,
what
let
it
you
is.
know what it is. So, I'm just looking at the globe. We have a globe in here, and I see Tim's blood drive stickers on it. That made me laugh for a
hang on. If
second.
we're going to say that, we're going to have visual aids. Absolutely. We're going to give a whole new meaning to he's got the whole world in his hands, because there it is.
That was very good.
All right, there it is. This is Tim's world. Y'all just paying rent. So there you go.
Anything is a trash can.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a global catastrophe message there. Which, what a great lead into the Metaverse.
Yeah, really.
You know, because we plan these shows so meticulously that
we do.
Now we're here.
So,
all right, Parker, what's the Metaverse?
So, a lot of people have Facebook. I assume probably many of you watching this have Facebook. If you're familiar with what's going on with that company, you will know that Facebook is buying up a lot of social media networks and everything along those lines into one larger company known as Meta. All right, it's just known as Meta. Now, the hopes and the future plans for this is that there will eventually become an entire different world of virtual reality, literally, in the full sense, saying that I have a house, I can buy land, I can go to McDonald's in the Metaverse. I'm not leaving anywhere. I'm just doing it through.
I'm living in virtual reality.
I'm just like, so take VR goggles, if you know what those are, glue them to your head, and they will never come off. Metaverse.
Clearly, what's the Facebook guy? Not Bezos.
Zuckerberg.
Clearly, Zuckerberg has never watched a single dystopian future movie ever. Because this never, ever goes well. Why would we do this?
So what we have is, like, an example of, I was reading an article, because I find this to be so interesting, how people are living their lives in the Metaverse. Okay?
Interesting is an interesting choice of words.
But there's different metaverses, okay? So, just like how there's different galaxies and everything else in our world, there's different metaverses. There's some metaverses for the high class, and there's some for the low class. And, like, this is all about money, too. So,
yeah, there is no other motivation. Let's not pretend like there's something else going on.
Tim asked, doesn't he see the dystopian literature and
all
these things?
Yeah. Have you read 1984? I'm just curious.
But have you heard about money?
Yeah.
So what we have is Mark Zuckerberg owns Meta. He says, I can make one pretty penny off selling lots in the Metaverse. Land lots. Like it is as if you take a section of land in this virtual reality world and say, I'm going to sell you 32 acres for, it could be anything. Set your price, because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and you have to pay for it in cryptocurrency, because no one knows what that's worth anyways.
Yeah. So,
or maybe an NTF, that'd be even better.
Hey, that's, But what this is it is life that doesn't actually exist. It's all virtual, virtual reality. And obviously go back 100 years ago, we were cutting down trees, we were building homes,
draining swamps.
I mean, real life, literally doing things, and
building things you can actually see, like this building we're sitting in right now.
And my generation's going to grow up in harvesting Metaverse trees. Okay, that doesn't really all you gotta do is click.
The horrifying part of this for me is since I'm in the generation in front of Parker's is, I'm going to be retiring and Parker's generation is going to be like, well, here's a virtual nursing home for you.
Yeah.
You're actually out in the woods somewhere, but we get the goggles on and it's wonderful. And I'm going to be like, can I please just die? Yeah.
Someone shoot me.
Yeah. So, I wish I was joking about that. I wish that was a joke. I don't think it is.
And what this is a result of is how consumed we've become with technology. Obviously, the Rage podcast, look at the church Tim grew up in. They didn't have YouTube podcasts.
No, we barely had the lights on.
I mean,
seriously, whenever they were like, I can't hear the minister, just talk louder. I mean, that's how we did things. Yeah.
So, obviously, this is a rapid progression over the last couple of years. So, why not just go all the way? I mean, that's truly what's happening, though. So, you have these different metaverses, and you have some that's a fictional land, and you have some that I could make a metaverse. Actually, no, I couldn't make a metaverse, but I could pay someone. No, I couldn't pay someone. If I had...
You're now just falling apart here, Parker.
If I had enough money or the right skills, I could, or it would be possible to
And we're asking you to go out on a big if right here, but
to make St. Mary's a metaverse.
Yeah.
And I can live in my home, but not live in my home.
That's right. Like, somebody else could buy your home in the metaverse, and then two people live there. One person virtually and one person actually.
Yeah, so that's...
Let that mess with your mind a little bit.
So that's kind of what the metaverse is literally a virtual world. Like, your life is lived virtually.
In order to help us understand the problem, Parker got a story from Ben Shapiro that I'm excited for him to share, because honestly, once he tells this story, I hope to God we don't need to understand or explain why this is a bad idea. Parker.
All right, that's a lot of hope, Tim.
Yeah.
So I was reading an article, and Ben Shapiro commented on it as well. But it was there's a guy, and I'm assuming I can't remember, but I think he lives in New York. He
probably doesn't know where he lives either.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter where he lives.
But and he lived in an apartment roughly the size of the room we're in. It had a bed, sink, fridge, you know, the basic necessities of a livable apartment, I'd say. It was one room.
In the actual world, we're still talking here, yes.
This is real world, yeah. But there was something that you obviously could see from the pictures. There were wires everywhere connected to this guy's head covering, this guy's goggles and everything that showed him the virtual world. And oh my gosh, I'm just thinking of the picture.
Parker's having a nightmare while you're watching. This is a nightmare in real time you're seeing here, yes.
So you have all these wires, and it's all hooking him up to the metaverse. So this guy the bed he's actually sleeping in through the metaverse, through the eyes he sees, is a king-sized, giant, well-made bed. The picture was a prison cell. I mean, that's the best way to explain it.
So he was in these goggles he was wearing was telling his head that he was at I'm assuming a 5-star hotel or something.
Yeah,
with a big mattress and just the ultimate thing. Well, he was living in squalor.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not miss that. And his brain was convinced that's where the good place is where he was, but he wasn't.
He was in a dumpy apartment. I mean, you wouldn't be able to really live here. But this guy has it all set up and is he truly does. I mean, I don't think, because think about it anymore. He had a refrigerator in there and a sink, so he had running water and a place to store his food. He might not have even had a stove in there actually, but and you get groceries delivered anymore. He opens up his door.
Yeah.
There's physical groceries.
Yeah, I was reading about that groceries are now setting up that you can go through and select stuff as you're getting it, and then check out of the store, and then you get that stuff sent to your house. So you actually go to the grocery in the metaverse, pick out your stuff, check out like you would at Amazon, and then a couple days later, there's all your stuff.
Yeah. But
so
again,
you don't have to go anywhere.
So here's what we have to learn about the difference from that. So anyone, on the device we're using to film this right here, I could go to Kroger and I could do click lists. Some people may do that, and I just go click, 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 I want bananas, blah, 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 blah. And I go to Kroger and I open up my trunk and they put it all in there and I go away. What this is I'm going to put on these goggles and I'm going to be in my house, but it's going to look as if I'm walking through the halls.
You're going to have the sensation of being at Kroger, and you're going to see people there. If somebody else happens to be there, you would see them there. Now remember, you've not left your house. There's no physical interaction. You're not even in the presence of each other, but it's basically like a random... I don't even know. Basically, I was trying to think of something. I think like a phone call, but it's not even like that.
So say I have my special goggles on, and Tim puts his special goggles on, all right? And I need groceries, so we're going to go to the Kroger Metaverse.
I sure hope this is the thumbnail for this episode.
So I'm going to go to the Kroger Metaverse, and I bump into Tim, and I'm like, hey, Tim, but I'm sitting on my couch at home, and I have no clue, what's Tim doing? It's like...
Yeah.
That is...
At home with my goggles on, yes.
Yeah, so clearly, I hope it's clearly, you can see a problem here.
Yeah. We're losing contact with each other. We are losing the essential meaning of what it means to be a human being. We have become an algorithm. in a matrix. I'll use that word intentionally.
No, yeah.
Because that's exactly what we have become. We've lost human interaction. We've lost the sense of touching each other and hugging each other. COVID kind of took all that from us, and so we have become programs in a computer. Is that what we want? Is that the direction we want our lives to go? Look. I grew up playing video games too, man. I've stomped enough Koopa Troopas in my life to fill a stadium. But the idea is, I knew when I was playing those games, I was doing something not real. I knew that's what I was doing. I did it because it wasn't real. But now with the Metaverse, we've decided to take it a step farther and do a replacement of virtual with replace reality with virtual. And virtual by definition means not real.
But it's not like Tim's using we're using still real world examples.
Yeah.
If that guy who was living in this apartment, say he was a huge go any video, let's go Mario,
Mm-hmm.
all right?
Okay.
He can be inviting Mario into, the Princess Peach's castle. That's where he could live.
Mm-hmm. He and Bowser could be buddies.
You literally make virtual.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's
so you can have cartoon characters over to your house.
It's like, oh, I'm hanging out with Mario today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's so that's kind of the more bizarre side of it too, is the fact that anything can become a reality.
Well, see, and now, all right, let's get down to the big problem here. The Bible's very clear about we were created in God's image, which we are. Again, I know that's a great theological statement, one of the most beautiful statements in the entire Bible, to be entirely honest. But when you go into the metaverse, this thing that you're going out there is now, and I know this sounds weird, but go with me on this. Now you're created in your own image. You put forth the image that you wanted instead of the one God gave you. To go into the metaverse, now you can be 27, 57, 107. Doesn't make any difference. Short, tall, fat, skinny, man, woman, doesn't make any difference. You be what you create yourself in the image that you want instead of the one that God gave you. And that's not good.
You can become Mario.
Correct. You can be Mario and go stomp Koopa Troopas for whatever. And you are saying that the way I created myself is better than the way God created me. And I tell you, that's a bad attitude ever.
And what also we have the problem is you're fleeting reality. Like, do know...
Yeah, you're running away from it.
This big gaming... Literally, it's like... you can call it compared to a gaming setup of what this guy's living in. Cost one pretty penny, all right?
Oh, I don't doubt that.
So, obviously, we had to have some form of career, of some form of income, let's say. Actually, let's not say career.
Yeah.
And most ways of getting income requires some form of work. How in the metaverse am I going to work in any way? Like truly think about it.
Yeah, how are you going to go on, earn all your bitcoins and your Dogecoin and all that? Yeah.
There's a lot of mess, and what's sad is a lot of people. And it happens all the time, and it's been going on for years. If someone hits a tricky spot in life, life gets too overwhelming. What do? Some people want to escape. Well, we're giving you the greatest escape of all time. Yeah. Here, join the metaverse.
The difference here is that, you can go to a movie or go on vacation or go play a video game or go read a book, do something, and escape a situation, and that's very healthy. But this is beyond escape. This is replace.
Yeah, this is.
I like that reality better, and so I'm going to go do. My real life is going to be there, and my fake life is now going to be this one, and that's again contrary to how we were created. And I tell you, if we keep denying reality at the rate that we are heading for problems, because you can reality will only be denied for so long before something big happens, and by big I mean bad. And I just it scares me how much denial of reality we have going on out there in the world today. And I think the metaverse, again, in theory, if it was just a game we were all playing, that wouldn't be great, but that would be better. But I'm afraid that's not where this is going, because you all know, any of you who are my age or older, as we've watched the advancement of technology, none of that technology hits an endpoint.
No, it doesn't.
There's no endpoint. It's going to continue going.
It might be that way right now, where it's like a game, or where it's like where it is maybe just like the stress relief, like games are. But say okay, I had a stressful day. Let me go to my metaverse family.
And we all remember the days of playing Pong on our TV when you couldn't even tell what nothing was but a little dot going back and forth. And now we're here in one generation. My generation has done that, and I'm just afraid of how much farther this is going to go, where we all decide we like virtual reality better than actual reality, and God's sitting back going, I kind of designed y'all to work together, and now you've just decided to escape the one I made for something else that's not even real.
Now picture this. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm a big believer in the metaverse for one reason, for my own good intentions. All right, I want everyone in the metaverse. Why? So I can free up land, so I can become a land-owning citizen, and I can control the world and whatnot.
Or you can you can force your ideas on people, things like that.
So I'm going to build just a ginormous housing unit. It's huge, and it's gonna be so big because the rooms are going to be closet size. All right, all you need is a place to sit down. Sit down. And what's going to happen is again, this is like dystopian Parker Miley coming out. All right, but I have this big tower full of rooms, full of rooms. I could hold I could hold 500 million people in one of these buildings. All right. You could. It's possible.
Easily.
It's absolutely possible.
Yeah.
I go into this. I'm not in frame.
No, you're fine.
But and everyone says this is a Metaverse hotel. All right, check in. You rent your room. You put on the goggles, and you can be anywhere you want to be.
Where you want to be.
And you have no interaction. Just like how no
accountability,
no nothing.
Yeah, no responsibility.
You can be in whatever world you want to be in. You can be anywhere you desire to be, and
cost you nothing.
Whoop-de-doo.
Except
now,
for freedom.
There you go. You're in the metaverse, and that can easily. Again, Tim mentioned how technology progresses rapidly, and it does. Sometimes for the good, sometimes for the not so good.
Well, depending on the application, technology of itself is neutral. Just what you do with it.
So what we have is that is literally the end of society, and it's so Say, obviously, we now have this large company, Meta, which is Facebook and all those other social media networks. And they say, I'm going to build the Meta Hotel. And it is literally one room with a chair, and you put on your goggles, and you are living in the metaverse somewhere. That could easily happen. And if I was Mark Zuckerberg, what's going to stop him from doing it? Because I think that is I think I just gave him the greatest idea in the world, because that is a money-making machine.
Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg, since we know you're watching this, go ahead and click off. Yeah.
And please, if you are watching this, give me some portion of the money.
That's right. Parker wants some royalties, and we're going to make him tithe on those royalties too. So yeah.
Wayne Street randomly becomes.
Yeah. And again, I know that churches down through the history, we're against every new idea. We always have been, but that's because we see the potential good. Look, there are good applications to this. There could be, situations where there's a doctor on one side of the world and a situation on another side of the world, and virtual reality might save a life. Look, I'm all for that. I'm all for the technology. I'm all for all of those things. The thing I'm against is how people are going to use this to escape reality. I would make the exact same argument against prescription pain-killing drugs. I think they're great. I think they absolutely should be produced. But the problem is when they're not regulated and they get into the wrong hands, those things can become very dangerous. And I don't regret having them. There's been plenty of times in my life I was thrilled we had prescription pain medicine. But I don't want that to destroy people as it has. I know people personally that prescription pain medicine has destroyed. And I can see the potential abuses of something like the metaverse if it just goes out there and people decide they like that better than actual reality. Because look, there's an algorithm and an overseer and all these things making sure everything goes perfectly. And if you're driving your car and you don't like it, you can just go fix it up or have a fake spouse or whatever.
You can click, and I got a Ferrari in front of me. That's
because in the metaverse, none of it matters. So that's what we want. We want to warn you about, and that's this is not another one of these crazy Christians who are out there hating every new thing that there is. That's not what this is about. We just want to make sure that you have an understanding of what the potential dangers of this thing is, and it is dangerous and it is scary.
And that's just something good to know about. Yeah. Really, again, it's not a big trend right now or yet, but it easily could be.
Come back and see us in a year, and we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, we'll see where we're at. But again, it's good to be informed. This is something we saw. It's in the news. We saw it in the news. That's where we got this whole real idea of doing this from. So I guess this is just Parker and Tim's lighthearted explanation of the metaverse.
Yeah. I guess I'll close with this. Don't ever allow virtual to replace reality, because as soon as that happens, you're on a road going to a bad place. So, any more you want to say?
Covered it all.
All right. Now that you're done watching this, go outside and play.
Yeah.
Have a great week, everybody.